Alrighty, hello, g'day, welcome everybody to my 2022 free-to-play farming guide. Look, I know it's only November, but we're calling it 2022 because that is trendy. Anyways, so starting out in Galaxy of Heroes, whether you're a new player or just making a brand new account for fun, it's always daunting and overwhelming. And so the idea of my guide here is to break all of that down for you and outline the best, most efficient routes for you to take in order for you to be excelling in all parts of the game while having tons of fun. The guide itself is going to have incredible teams for all sorts of raids, for light side territory battles. You're going to be getting Kayati Mundi shards, have a great squad arena team, a great fleet arena team, and a lot of GAC squads too, so it's going to be fantastic. The guide itself is centered around getting ourselves General Anakin Skywalker in anywhere between 6 to 9 months from our starting point, while we're building up other important teams along the way. So right now we're actually going to have a little scroll through the path and then go deep into each and every character farm necessary for the route itself. We don't actually have a Kyber Club level budget, so the editing and transitions aren't going to be the smoothest, but I tried my best basically. Alrighty, before we actually hop right into it, I'm just going to go through a couple of miscellaneous things that I believe are really important to following this guide. Number one is make sure that you save up enough Get 1 currency to get yourself General Skywalker unlocked and to 7 stars within as soon as you unlock him, basically. That's about 63,000 Get 1, so you're going to have that saved up. Something that goes hand in hand with this is having a good guild. So, I mean, the better the guild, the more Get 1 you're going to be getting, and yeah, pretty much it. Same goes for your Negotiator unlock. You're going to need a fairly good guild to get all of that stuff done. The next thing is our farm for the TIE Bomber. That is a really, really important ship, and it's going to be crucial to maintaining our top ranks in the fleet arena fairly early on. So do make sure that you're trying your best to get that ship unlocked and to 7 stars, essentially. Because the Empire fleet can take out basically anything in this game except Executor, depending on what you're facing and what you're up against. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, we can actually take a look at the farming guide itself. Alright, let's go. So as you can see, we're kicking it off with the classic Phoenix team of Hera, Ezra, Kanan, Chopper, and Zeb. These guys are always super reliable to farm up first because they're so accessible and do everything you need them to do early on, essentially, such as clearing Galactic War and getting you into the top 500 in the squad arena. We aren't looking to invest too much into them, however, just to get them to 7 stars in around Gear 8, in order for us to get our first legendary characters unlocked at 7 stars, Grand Admiral Thrawn and Emperor Palpatine. These two will form the basis for our next arena team, the Sith and Empire combo, which will allow us to stay competitive while also lining up for our first fleet. Now that we're building up our Empire and such, we should be hitting around the level 60 to 70 range and have already unlocked our fleet arena. Here the key is to use an Empire fleet with the cheat code itself, the TIE Bomber. Look, this ship will transform that fleet and make it competitive in the fleet arena against all the other hyperdrive players and whatnot, allowing us to get heaps of crystal income solely because of this one ship on this Empire fleet. It'll also allow us to start clearing those difficult fleet nodes and get some of the shard farm started for General Skywalker. Moving back a little bit, to combine with our original farm of Kanan and Ezra, we will be adding 3 more Jedi to the mix and getting ourselves yet another journey guide character in the form of Grandmaster Yoda. He's going to be super useful. We'll be able to use him with a whole bunch of different teams. Alright, now that we've laid out the foundations in pretty much all parts of the game, we can actually start building more directly towards Gas himself, starting off by farming up our Separatist characters for Padme Amidala. We'll be using a specific few characters due to some convenient overlaps, such as Jango Fett on the Houndstooth node, as well as Asajj and B2, both needed for General Skywalker as well. Anyways, once we've gotten these guys up, we can move out into our Padme team for Arena and keep those Arena climbs looking strong. By having these characters up and running, we've actually indirectly geared up a majority of the pilots for the negotiator fleet. If you have unlocked it by this time, you will actually be dominating your fleet arena already, and if you haven't, not to worry, you can still use the fleet with Mace's endurance. It won't do quite as well in the fleet arena, but it'll still be fine, and it's okay because we're going to be using Mace's endurance for the General Skywalker event anyways. Okay, at this point we're beginning to round out our requirements for the event, crossing off C-3PO by getting our Ewoks up to 7 stars and clearing that one. Now we're just missing a couple more Separatist droids before we can hit the unlock on General Skywalker, and once our Separatists are up at around gear 12, we can go for the unlock. And because we were smart and we hoarded up our Get 1 currency over 60k, we can actually take General Skywalker straight up to 7 stars and Relic 7 right away. And following up from this, we're going to build around him our 501st clones, and that will basically round out the farming guide. From here, the choice is yours from where you'd like to go. Some people would prefer to round out their rosters by going for more teams. Other people would go straight for a Galactic Legend, which is what I would recommend, because Galactic Legends at this point in the game, especially Master Kenobi, help you stay super competitive in the squad arena and in GACs and territory wars and all that good stuff. So that's personally what I would do, but once again, it's totally down to you. This is a Star Wars collection game at the end of the day. Okay, next we're going to move into the actual farm themselves and the order and a bit more specifics. Alright, starting off, you can see all the different columns based on the specific forms of farming. The list is generally in order of who you should farm first. However, once again, this is a guide, not an exact run through, so you can totally switch up some of the characters that you farm and the order of them. Towards the top are the teams shown off first previously, such as the Phoenix, the Jedi, and even some of the Empire. As you move down, you begin to spot farms for Fleet and Separatists for Padme, and eventually moving towards the bottom, the final requirements for Gas and the 501st clones. Comparing it to the previous slide, with the required teams, you can see a number of farms found here that were not there before. This is once again due to us needing more characters and ships that aren't directly required for General Anakin Skywalker. Boba Fett and Slave One, for example, will help us in completing Tarkin Zeta Challenge, a very important goal to reach as quickly as possible. And while Boba Fett himself helps us out with things like the credit heist and others. Another thing to note is that you are definitely able to farm multiple characters at a time depending on which column they're in. For example, with normal energy, you might be doing 2 or 3 hard nodes at a time, whereas something like Cantina energy, you should really only be farming 1 character until you're done with them. The same goes for store shipments. So you guys can feel free to screenshot this and share it around and just sort of read into it, make your own adaptation of this farming guide. Highly recommend you go through with it, and yeah, be sure to like this video. I really did put a lot of effort into it, and if you could subscribe, I would love that as well. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one, and bye bye. See ya.